check in with yourself before checking in with the world when you wake up in the morning. Really just sit there and take a little time. Read a little something that's between me and me. Write a little something that's between me and me.
Disgrace is emotional dysregulation. More pain, less positive emotion. The best way to present yourself is to stand up forthrightly and to stretch out, and to occupy some space. And you make yourself sort of vulnerable by doing that because you open up the front of your body. But it's a sign of confidence. And that way people are most likely to give you the benefit of the doubt. And that's a good way to start regulating your mood. But not only does it directly regulate your mood to stand up, because it's so tightly associated, like postural flexion is associated with serotonin and emotional regulation, but also because if you straighten up and you present yourself in that manner, then other people are more likely to take you seriously. And that means they'll start treating you as if you're a number 1 lobster instead of a number 10 lobster.
That we need to create resistance to overcome it, to feel most alive. But there's also foolish times to create resistance. And the fact of that is, things are going so well, you think that's how it's going to be for the rest of your life. No, trust me, the uphill's coming. The drama, the real drama's coming. Don't create any false drama in front of you right now, because you're kind of patronizing yourself. The real drama's going to come. Someone is going to get sick. You are going to get hurt. Something will happen in your life. The world will do unto you, or you'll do it unto yourself. So don't trip yourself running downhill and face plant and break your frickin' nose just because you needed some resistance running downhill.
Yeah.
Because trust me, that uphill's coming.
So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is treat yourself like you're someone that you care about. Like, you know yourself better than anyone else knows you, and you might have a certain amount of dislike for someone you know because of something they did, but you know everything you did.
I was asked the other day about how do I trust? And this is a time in the world where there's great distrust and people don't believe, and you don't just trust, you don't trust others, you end up not trusting yourself, etc. That reciprocity goes back and forth, and then everyone's walking in circles.
Despite the fact that you're not all that you could be, the proper attitude to have towards yourself is the attitude that you would have towards someone that you genuinely cared for. And that it's incumbent on you to act as if you genuinely care for yourself, just like you would act towards someone that you actually cared about, some other person. And so it's a reversal in some sense of the golden rule.
It's always been, all you got to do is be yourself. That's kind of the rule. That's not what you think you ought to be, but just be yourself. Doesn't matter if you're blue-haired, short, American Indian, cowboy, sheriff, whatever. Everyone's sitting at the same bar.
The world is a dimmer place, and that's a bad thing, because when the world is a dim place, it can get very, very, very dark. And so it's necessary, not just so that you feel better, not just so that you're a number 1 lobster, none of those things. You need to take care of yourself because you're in the best position to do that. And it's necessary for you to take care of yourself. Despite the fact that we're mortal and vulnerable and self-conscious and capable, not only capable of doing terrible things, but actually do them. Despite all that.
Hey, we're all the same. No, we're not. We're all very different, and that's cool. But we do have some social contracts amongst us. We're a clean place. We don't lie, cheat, and steal to get where we're going. We look ahead, but we appreciate tradition at the same time. We take care as much as we can of our natural beauties around here. At the same time, we're Metropolis. We're growing up. Now, how can we grow up and wide and still grow deep?
I had friends who wanted the best for me and friends who didn't. And, they were friends who, some of them were aiming up and some of them were aiming down. And if you have a friend that's aiming down and you do something that's aiming up, then they're generally not that happy about it. Try to top your accomplishment with one of their own, hypothetical or real, or put down what you're doing, or offer you a cigarette if you're trying to quit and you've kind of done that successfully, or a drink if you've been drinking too much and are trying to stop being an alcoholic. Or, yeah, they're cynical and bitter and devoted towards no good. And sometimes that's family members too, and sometimes it's even part of you. But this chapter is an injunction to people, is like you have an ethical responsibility to take care of yourself, you have an ethical responsibility to surround yourself with people who have the courage and faith and wisdom to wish you well when you've done something good, and to stop you when you're doing something destructive. And if your friends aren't like that, then they're not your friends. And maintaining your friendships with them might not even be in their interest.
Yes, we can all agree on that. We got a few bad apples